Hello guys, so welcome to my channel, and today we are gonna take a look at what's gonna be happening for the collective during fall equinox that falls on September 23rd this year. It could be different time based on your time zone. For some of you it will be the very end of the 22nd on the west coast of states and beyond in the Pacific, but for the most part it's the 23rd. And it's a pretty pivotal energy in terms of like the overall astrology and planetary transits, especially with the sun. Obviously, we talk a lot about eclipses, we talk a lot about solstices, but this is the medium points, right? So it's pretty important. This is this point of balance, right, where darkness and light actually complement each other perfectly, and there's probably the most conversation between the shadow and light during this time. But enough of the talk, and let's get to cards. Today I want to do a quick collective reading to see what energies are in 5D and 3D, what's the piece of advice for us all, and then I'll get to each zodiac sign, and I'll do similar things for each of you with messages from the universe on what should you be doing, what's going to be going on, what is relevant for you to know during this time. I will use one oracle deck and two tarot decks for that. For the collective, I will actually do the shuffle, and then I'll just be pulling cards from the deck. So for the collective, what are the common themes that we should be aware of during this time, or the theme to be aware of? Oh, that's too many, so I might take the one that fell out separately. Be insightful and established. Oh, I like this. Ground and rebalance your energy. Bring your awareness into the now rather than allowing it to occupy the past or the future. This is brilliant. Yeah, so be very much on the watch, on the observation mode about yourself and about the world around you, into what's happening exactly now and how you're supposed to interpret those messages. Okay, now let's get to tarot for the collective. I'll put timestamps for each of the signs. Of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Also, if you resonate with the Twinflame journey, have a separate channel for twins where I do daily checkups. So feel free to join that one. So we'll pull 3 cards. Actually 2 cards, 5D and 3D. And then 2 cards from here. Alright, that was 2 cards. So for 5D space, we have 9 of Cups clarified by 7 of Pentacles. It's a little bit different, 7 of Pentacles. To me, it's a little more sneaky, where like maybe not all my intentions are pure, or I'm thinking that I can benefit from this somehow, or I'm looking at that with like a separate agenda that I have, something that I'm not necessarily telling everyone, like what do I want to get out of it, right? And this is the wish fulfillment card. So and this is an energetic realm though, so be careful what you wish for, kind of, right? And if your wish is coming from a certain agenda or certain motives that are not pure and of light, remember I just talked about the shadow and light, and sometimes it's a very fine line where we are in the shadow or in the light space. So if you get into that kind of like more self-righteous, whether it's more kind of like on the side of overall goodness and kindness, or it's something that you benefit from personally, but it's not necessarily good for overall community, right? That will inform how your wish is going to be fulfilled. I'm not saying that it will or it will not be. It will be fulfilled. That's the card. It's just that how it's going to show up, Hence, be careful what you wish for. You know what that is about, right? That saying. that sometimes the universe gives you what you ask for, but it's not really what you wanted, or not the result of it, like the next consequence of it is definitely not what you wanted. So think about it. And then the 3D, the High Priestess. And I'm getting that's because it's in the energetic space. It could be a lot about immaterial things. So just wanting, I don't know, to get together with a person, or wanting to get new habits, or wanting to have success and be known, something more along those lines of like information, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. With the 3D space, we have the High Priestess clarified by 7 of Cups. Another 7. I've seen a lot of 7s in personal readings too. It's very interesting. It's like that extra depth that we're getting into after this new moon in Virgo that we just experienced. Yeah, so this is about following your guidance, basically, when you're making decisions in the physical, right? Especially when it gets overwhelming, when it gets confusing, whether it's just because you're specifically asked to choose one out of options you have, or when you feel like you have to choose because you can't handle everything anymore. All right, use your inner guidance for that, and make sure that it's not, your decision is not communicated by people around you and their energies and their interests, right? That this is your personal decision, right? Whichever techniques you use for that is up to you, of course. Whether you turn to your higher power and how you do that, that's up to you. But you should own it. It should be yours, so that afterwards you would be able to tell yourself that, yes, I made that choice. Nobody forced me. Nobody talked me into it. I decided to do it. I know why. Okay. So this is the collective reading. I'm gonna put this aside. And now we're gonna get into sign by sign. And since we are in Virgo season right now, we'll start with Virgo and we'll go around the zodiac wheel. So I'll get 2 cards from each deck and like the main one and clarify, and I'll get one from the oracle deck. So let's see what we have for Virgo during this equinox time. Clearing the access. This is actually a cute card and I like the meaning behind it. Not a big cleaning person in general, but this just feels so good when you put that intention of clearing out space to bring in something new, fresh, and beautiful. You almost can feel it in the air. You know how it's easier to breathe. And I don't just mean because you clean the house, but just general. Maybe you just got rid of some stuff, right? But that's already makes such a big difference. You're entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it's in your physical body or your physical space. Virgos usually are pretty disciplined and clean and organized in terms of what their space looks like. But like I said, it's not even so much about like something obvious that's cluttering your space. It can be something that may look well in your overall interior design, but something that you know does not belong there. Maybe it has lots of negative memories connected to it, or it just doesn't feel right in that space, or you know that deep down you want to use it differently, right? And the same goes for anything intangible, right? Like your thoughts, your habits. Great time to review those. And by the way, happy birthday, Virgos. Okay, the first guidance from the universe. Page of Swords clarified by 5 of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of aspiration and wanting to understand better. What is it all about, and what is my next step, right? Whatever you do, whatever this new cycle brings up to you, whether it's career or personal relationship, or maybe your personal growth and like, kind of hobbies or interests that you pursue, right? There is a desire to find out what it's truly about, or how to get to the depths of it. How do you find the secret sauce, right? So great intention. Just remember, like I said, that there's a fine line between light and shadow. So don't get too carried away with reading the information, or even more so when listening to a specific person that will want to share their knowledge, right? And kind of feel through it little by little and see what you gut tell you, like what your intuition is telling you, what you're supposed to know. And maybe there will be some things that you will learn on your own, learn even from experience, that you don't really need to know all up front. Remember, stay in the present. Do not go too much into past or future. Okay, the second message for Virgo. Temperance, clarified by Six of Wands. Wow. Yeah, so patience is key. Do not rush. Enjoy the process. Look at how beautiful she is in this ballerina dress. Right? The picture, it's picture perfect image. Right? So enjoy the view, so to speak, right? Enjoy every part of it. Right? That's what's going to get you to victory. Not just trying to rush through the steps to get to the final point, but understanding every step and why you've been brought there. This is a general reading, so it's hard for me to kind of specify, but you know what I'm talking about. Why you were brought there, why it's good for you, right? Try to see that perspective. Okay, next we're going to move to Libra. Mutually beneficial venture. Partners coming in. There is an extraordinary connection at the forefront of your life at this moment. Utilize this relationship to benefit everyone concerned. And so basically, mutually beneficial means that obviously it's going to be beneficial both for you and that partner. So don't feel like, oh my God, like I'm so lucky they even talked to me or something, like, oh, that means so much to me. What do they get out of it? Both of you have your value that you're going to get. And you don't even need to know what's theirs, right? As long as you're in that mode again, that you can focus on the present and enjoy this collaboration and see how you can benefit, you two can benefit. The more people, the better. Okay, messages for Libra. Collaboration is in your blood, Libra, so let's go. Looks like the world needs a lot of that right now. We have Six of Cups clarified by Two of Pentacles. Yeah, and again, that's another image of like, be more joyful and have more childlike fun rather than trying to be on top of 1,000 things and being overwhelmed that you don't have the energy or the time or whatever else resources to get on top of everything. You don't have to do that. And the more you feel that way, the more it's important to dive deeper into a conversation with your inner child, maybe spending time with actual children, yours or maybe your friends, your family's kids, you know, that can remind you pretty easily, you know, what that childlike fun is, how to be happy about little things in life and all of that kind of stuff. And they'll remind you to be happy about little things in your life, right? And to find the joy on the daily basis without needing to do 1,000 things or to meet someone's expectations. That's the other message. Page of Cups clarified by the Tower. Oof, something in the expression of love that's gonna really surprise you, I'm getting here. So it may be somebody who you didn't expect, maybe that partner that's coming in. You're gonna be working on some project together and suddenly they'll start expressing their feelings for you, and that will be a Tower moment for you because you didn't see it that way, right? It could be also, I'm hearing somebody returning into your life, like an ex or an old friend, trying to mend fences or at least have an apology for things that went down in the past. And that's again to bring you back to the now, so that your thoughts, your feelings don't linger in the past where maybe something was misunderstood or your feelings were hurt and, you know, you felt like there was no closure, right? So this closure is coming in. Okay, that was Libra. Let's see what we have for Scorpio. In the light of the moon, number 3. A full moon can shine light on what you have been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. And Scorpios go deep, whatever they approach. So might need to go deep, actually. See how that fish is like just goes down there, right? So yeah, whatever that fish is. It's kind of hinting to me at the full moon that we have coming up at the end of next week, just shortly after the equinox, right? So that energy will already be building up by equinox time. And maybe it's going to help you, Scorpio, to face some of those things that you wouldn't be able otherwise. Whether it's a fear or something beautiful about yourself that you don't want to admit. I'm also getting, if some kind of information comes to light, don't be afraid that other people are gonna judge you for it. They're gonna find out and it's gonna be a problem. This is the time of grace where like it's happening naturally and it's happening for you, not to you. So even if it doesn't look that way at first, it's gonna be a blessing in disguise. First message for you, 5 of Wands clarified by 3 of Wands. Yeah, so 5 of Wands in this deck is about this person kind of like thinking that they're in control of the board, of the situation, of what is happening, but it's kind of an illusion, right? Although you may want that with this 3 of Wands in the clarifier. That's what you want, to understand who, like, what kind of game people are playing, right? And be able to manipulate the situation. It could be for good intentions, but it's not a very good idea to be doing the manipulation. So be careful with that. There's nothing wrong with getting more clarity, but maybe that should be your manifestation right now and going into equinox, right? Again, light and shadow, remember, fine line. So do not get into the shadow mode yourself. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to manifest something of light. Right? And you can't avoid that. You can still be in the kind space of like, I want more information about this. I want to see what is my purpose here. I want to know how I can get the best possible outcome from this situation. Okay, Scorpio. Let's see. We have Judgment clarified by the Devil for a second message. Oof. Don't be too judgmental. That's what I'm getting. Very plain and simple. Yeah, it's easy to judge people, especially if you feel like you occupy the moral ground in the situation, right? Like, I would have never done something like that. How could they? But you're being asked to let go of any of your prejudices or limited beliefs at this time, right? And find that compassion, find that kindness for someone, to give them the benefit of the doubt, as long as it's not hurtful to you. So still keep healthy distance, be aware, especially judgment, right? Like, have that clarity for yourself, like, what is happening, what am I doing, why am I doing this, right? This can be about another person, or it can be about yourself even, right? And if that's the case, then even more so, it's important to see beyond the surface, beyond the okay, that's what I did wrong, right? Like, dive deeper to see that deeper meaning that Judgment card suggests, what it came from and how can you heal that, right? That's the important part. Okay, now we go to Sagittarius. Enjoy the journey. It's one of my favorite cards. Stay present and flexible. You see how we have a common theme? Many changes are going on for you and around you. These changes are not only good, but necessary. Bring your awareness into the now, rather than focusing on the past or the future. And I swear, these all different cards, but they still have that vibe of stay in the now. Stay in the now. Observe, analyze, process your feelings. Do not get overwhelmed about past or future. Message number 1, 2 of Swords clarified by 5 of Pentacles. Oof. There is a fear of making the wrong choice here. That's what I'm getting. So yeah, it's good to consider your options, or to understand, to be clear on why you're making a specific choice, right? In your brain, in your head. But don't overthink with it. Don't spend too much time on it, because you're gonna lose the view of why you were there in the first place, or why it came your way. Again, you know, the whole why thing. Like, why am I facing this? Why is it happening to me now? Like those are important questions, but you'd rather be focused on like what's gonna happen if I make the wrong decision, right? Or maybe I need to spend like much more time on this and consider more options, so talk to more people, and that's gonna be fine. And again, look at those birds, black and white, kind of yin and yang, right? Shadow and light. Overthinking gets us into a dark place a lot of times. The second message is the Hierophant clarified by the Judgment. Look at that, another Judgment. So karma is coming around. Here I clearly see this card as karma. And you are understanding, Sagittarius, your place in the community, right? Your leading role, where you lead by example, where people look up to you, where people want to follow your lead, right? Whether it's in the way you conduct yourself, your character, your looks, or it's the way you live your life, or the way you do something specific where you're an expert and they want to learn, they want a piece of that, right? So this is that almost like a reward that's coming around, where maybe you felt in the past that you've been overlooked or not treated fairly, right? Maybe not compensated fairly. Take it how it resonates for you, right? Now you're seeing that return of investment, so to speak. Beautiful. Okay, that was Sag. Now let's go to Capricorn. Your oracle card is 36. Blend into the environment. You have many skills and can fit into any situation. Take time to assess what is going on around you and adapt accordingly. Again, take time to understand. You hear that, right? So again, it's like what's happening in the present is the important thing. Not what you know about these people, not what you've done before in these situations. What is happening right now and how you feel guided to adapt to it. What is supposed to be your role in it. Those are the important questions you're supposed to be asking, and that's how you're gonna blend into the environment. Even if it feels weird, even if there is something off about it, you're able to. And that blending, I'm hearing, will get you a new angle, a new view on what is it all about. Wow, you have Wheel of Fortune clarified by Six of Cups. Yeah, so somebody could be coming around, an old friend or an old love, old not meaning by age of course, but somebody you've been with before, or just a soulmate that maybe things didn't work out with before, but now they're coming around for a new chance. The universe is bringing them around. And again, with that card, with blend the environment, it's going to be for you to understand why they're here. And it's not necessarily to do exactly the same you did before, right? To just catch up with old friends and hang out. There is a specific knowledge, specific experience that they're bringing into your life that is important for what you're going through, for where you're headed, for what you're trying to achieve, personally or professionally. So pay attention. What do you two talk about? What is that person up to right now? What kind of feelings do they, I don't want to say trigger because it doesn't have to be negative, right? But bring up. What kind of feelings and emotions do they bring up in you? The second message, Ace of Pentacles, clarified by Nine of Pentacles. It makes a 10. Beautiful. Yeah, so something new is coming in, some new opportunity, or maybe it was that person, right, since we just saw it. Again, it could be personal or professional, but the main thing is that it will help you see how powerful you are on your own, in what you know, in what you do, not like 5 years from now, not like together with other people, but on your own as you are. It will help you see your power, and that will encourage further road to abundance and happiness in the physical. So take on that opportunity, even if it feels scary, even if it feels like it may be too big for you right now, right? It's there for a reason. Take it. Okay, that was Capricorn. Now let's go to Aquarius. Childlike devotion. I like the childlike part. You are a multi-talented, complex being. Embrace and love who you are. Beautiful. B-E-A, beautiful. Love who you are, Aquarius. Let's get you some messages. And again, it's going back to childhood. In childhood, you didn't criticize yourself, right? You didn't think, oh wow, like I have this fault and that fault, and you know, you didn't have that fear of not being successful, or not, even if it's like, I don't know, climbing a tree or ice skating or whatever, running for a prize, right? You just went for it. You didn't think about it too much. So why not try that now? Seven of Cups clarified by Ace of Swords. Yeah, so Seven of Cups is usually lots of options, but I see with the stars here that it's actually showing you a certain path that's lit up, or maybe a certain person where you see like that path is your best option, right? That's the truth that's coming in. You suddenly see not like all these different experiences that are all shiny and look good and you don't know which way to go. You see one specific that is shiny, is like twinkling to you, twinkling star, and you're like, yeah, that's the one for me. I'm glad it's signaling to me, right? And it's sometimes the truth is plain and simple. That's what I'm hearing. So again, be observant, practice that self-love, and see where it takes you. The second message. Three of Pentacles clarified by the Sun. Oh, congrats. This is the happiest card in the deck. There is some sort of collaboration that's going to bring a lot of happiness and joy. It's going to bring healing as well to your heart, to your soul, on the deeper level, on the emotional level. So again, whatever that collaboration is, don't overthink it, accept it, go for it, see what it is all about. It can be more in the like professional business project side. It can be more of I don't know, collaborating or planning something with a friend, right? A group of friends, right? Because 3 is about teamwork. It can be 2 people, it can be more, right? So whatever it is that you're working on together, even if it's a relationship, I don't know, putting together, like buying a house, for example, you know, setting up a home, right? That could be also, that's something that requires teamwork. Whatever it is that where you collaborate with somebody else, whatever opportunity, new opportunity comes up during this time around equinox, this is going to bring you a lot of joy and happiness. So don't hesitate. All right, now let's go to Pisces. Gentle moderation, number 42. Take your time. Pressure from others or yourself can be released by renegotiating what you're trying to accomplish. Again, similar vibe. Don't even want to talk about it too much. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Just take little steps, one day at a time. Do not put pressure on yourself. Do not let other people put that pressure on you, right? Just, you're supposed to get into a feeling of like an explorer or a scientist, where, you know, like they are so curious about little things and they observe from different angles and they experiment with different conditions. They're really in that moment, in that situation that they're facing right now, scientific situation in their case, right? So try to be more like that and not think too much over the outcome or how quickly am I gonna get it. Okay, your message. Ten of Wands clarified by the Chariot. Yeah, so you may feel a desire to move from the burdens, from the weight of the world as soon as possible. But the universe is saying that even that situation is there for a reason, so that you find new appreciation for things in life, so that while you're dealing with the burden, you will find new allies and people who will help you see new ways of dealing with such situations, right? So there'll be extra tools in your tool belt on how to prevent even this happening in the future. So some important knowledge is there, so don't run away from it, see it. And also like this, again, the whole yin-yang idea, the shadow and light, right? Maybe you have good intentions of why you don't want that situation to be in your life, or you want to just get rid of it, but that's not what the universe has intended for you, and that's one of those blessings in disguise. Okay, another message for Pisces. 5 of Cups clarified by 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, so you may be seeking a solution to getting more in a positive mindset around the prosperity in your life, around being able to provide for your family and maybe even for your own needs within a family, within a household. It can be literally with finances, or it can be some other resources that you need, right? So you may be searching for that way because the previous ways of dealing with it didn't work out that well, right? So again, it's this energy of innovation that I see for you, or depth if you wish, to find some unconventional ideas and solutions to this, or even find a new appreciation for what you already have, because abundance is not necessarily measured in the amount of money, right? It can come in so many different ways, and you can consider so many people and things and aspects of your life as treasure, as something you value, that it may help you stress less over the money situation, and that in turn will help you relax and take it more with ease, so that you are more successful in the new cycle. Okay, that was Pisces. Yeah, that was 2 messages. And now we get to Aries. Connect to source, number 47. Go within to discover what needs to be done. Create the shift required to attract what you want. Yeah, so Aries, you're a power manifester in this case, or you're learning to be one at the very least. We have King of Wands clarified by Knight of Wands. Lots of fire. It's very much your energy because you are a fire sign, right? But you get fired up for real this time. It's like somebody gives you a pep talk, or you see a TED talk, or you read a book, or you just have someone next to you that's like, oh, this is gonna be really good for you because, and they give you some arguments, some ideas for why you just have to go for this opportunity, because it was just created for you based on what you know, what you can do, who you are, right? And you get fired up and like, yes, I'm going for it. I'm gonna get it. I just don't rush with anything. Connect with source. Make sure that you follow your intuition and create the shift required to attract what you want. So don't just use the older way, the well-known way to get there, right? It's the situation is requiring a new approach. So it's for you to work out, and maybe you're not going to move as quickly as you're used to, or you feel the situation is requiring from you, but know that you have the time that you need. It's more about how than about how quickly. Okay, second message for Aries. 6 of Wands clarified by 8 of Cups. Yeah, so this is like moving away from the stereotype of what success means. And again, if you look at this card, it's a very interesting interpretation of the public success, right? You see the hummingbird that's like feeding off the flower that the girl is providing. There are also birds here, 6 birds sitting on birches and kind of looking at her with admiration. So she's a winner in this case, but there's so much more going on that you may lose. If you're only focusing on that part, you may lose the sight of other important things that are happening in the picture. So it's like moving away from that urge to prove something to someone, to get the title, to get the bonus, to conquer someone's heart quickly, right? Like this is a tough one, right? They're hard to get, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get them. That's another side of that Knight of Wands energy and King of Wands, right? Like I can get them in like a week, right? And that becomes a challenge, and now you're like determined to get there because that's the definition of your success in this case. But it's not real, it's artificial, and it's not coming from a good place. So think about it twice, I would say. And we continue with Taurus. So let's get an oracle card. Safe and surrounded by love. Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorites in this deck. Keep your heart open and know you are being protected. Listen to what you know to be true and allow yourself to see and understand what is going on around you. And see, this is another card. I feel like we're pulling up all the cards that have to do with observe, notice, understand what's going on. You know, so it's not like run and, you know, do whatever the first thing that you feel like doing, but this is a very much the opposite, right? Like savor this surrounded by love state. And remember that you are protected, so you don't have to worry, you don't have to fuss. And that's another important part of staying in the now rather than going to the past or the future. Allow yourself to see and understand what is going on around you. All right, so more details on where to understand. Let's see what we have for Taurus. Two of Wands clarified by Two of Swords. So this is a decision that's in front of you to explore distant lands. And I get that in this case, there are two people. This is the after tarot. Two people are kind of competing for this lady, right? Like suddenly, like this image shows us what the true story of Two of Swords was. But I get that in your case, it doesn't have to be people. It can be just options, past situations, right? You have different projects coming in, and you understand that you won't be able to do both properly, or maybe there are even more than two, right? So this is you choosing which world to be off, which world to focus on, almost like, right? Is it more, I'm getting for a lot of you, it's a choice between something more based in 3D, more of material life, I don't know, whether it's a job, to do something with family and friends, helping them, right? Maybe moving to a new location or something like that, versus giving that energy and your capacity to something more spiritual notion, whether it's taking care of yourself and maybe doing some healing or discovering your talents and gifts, or taking on a new hobby that, you know, may not sound as practical, but will be in the end of the day very practical for you. So that's when it's important to really tune in and see what's going on, because you will get signs on which way to go, or you'll get a preview of what the outcome will be from each of those, so that you can decide what kind of outcome am I looking for. Am I more, which outcome is my heart closer to? Let's put it that way. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We have King of Cups clarified by Three of Pentacles. Ooh, some sort of a partner is coming in. King of Cups could be a water sign. So that's Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. But generally speaking, King of Cups is somebody who is aware of the emotional weight, or they can read the room, right? Especially here we see an actual room, right? So it's somebody who kind of understands what goes on behind the scenes, or what he can read between the lines. And he can actually be a she, of course. The more masculine energy just means that this person who's coming in is ready to utilize that in active communication, right? So this is somebody who is not afraid to show that skill in action, right? And this is a collaboration, again, could be personal, could be professional, but this is somebody who is coming in to help you with some sort of endeavor, right? To help you figure it out, plan it out, maybe invest, maybe just help you with some emotional guidance, right? Providing extra information, or bringing in their emotional intelligence into the matter, so that you can figure out what your next steps are in that project, or how to make it work, right? Especially if you're struggling in here to make a choice. Maybe one of the reasons you're struggling to make a choice because you're not sure how to get it done, right? It seems too overwhelming. That's where King of Cups can really help. They're really good with dealing with overwhelm and anxiety, especially if they're coming out from the outside, you know, when they're not clouded with that emotion themselves. They can see it as an independent observer, and they can provide a fresh take on things. Okay, let's get to Gemini now. Amble with contentment. Waiting rather than acting is going to be the most advantageous now. Another card about surrendering and observing rather than acting. Very, very interesting. Okay, let's see what messages we have. And I like that it's amble with contentment, right? So it's like you don't have to do anything because you're already content. Strengths clarified by King of Cups. Yeah, so at this time you'll be able to exercise your new strengths when it comes to emotional maturity and understanding what to say and to do and what not to say or not to do in a specific situation, right? Like sometimes we do something, you know, we make some rash decisions or say some harsh words, and afterwards we're regretting that. We're like, that was a wrong approach with that person. Like I should have done this and that. This is the combination that shows that you know exactly what to say and how to say it in the right moment, right? This is grasping that talent of yours and exercising it. And sometimes that means not saying anything or not taking action, even when people are strongly pushing you towards that, right? You're showing your strengths, you're showing your powers. So like, yes, this is me, and I'm gonna decide for myself when I'm ready to go and how I want this to play out. Okay, let's see what we have for the second message. Knight of Pentacles clarified by Wheel of Fortune. So somebody's coming in who is like an omen of luck or an angel of support, especially if you feel you need it with something. Knight of Pentacles can be an earth sign, of course, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. But most importantly, Knight of Pentacles is very stable. They can see clearly how to get to their goal, right? And even if it's a long way to that goal, they are ready to be determined and to take, you know, the right steps towards it without wearing off, without getting distracted. They are on point. And sometimes that's just the person you need to be able to show you how you can be on point, right? Or that there is nothing wrong with just doing it in a one foot in front of the other way, right? You don't have to go extravagant and fancy in everything you do, right? Sometimes it just needs those subsequent steps, one after another. So you will be able to get that guidance, and maybe even for some, I'm getting this as a new relationship that could be a friendship, could be a professional partnership, could even be a romantic interest. But this is definitely somebody who's gonna take time not to bombard you, not to love bomb you, but they will take that time to get into that level of comfort for the both of you. And because they play in the long game, they have that focus. Maybe they already know like what they're expecting, right? But they will not jump on it like, yeah, I want this right here, right now, right? They will know what a good strategy is, and they will be taking those steps, or at least they will know a few steps in front of them, and that's just enough for them to keep going, slowly but surely. Okay, that was Gemini. Let's see what we have for Cancer. Let's see. 33. Let your personality shine. Master number. You have something no one else has that makes you who you are. Stop comparing yourself to others and allow your uniqueness to shine through. So this is for you to recognize, first of all, your talents, your light, your power, and to let it guide you, let it shine. You know, that shining part is actually going to shine the path for yourself. Sorry about the dog. Is going to show you first and foremost which way to take, you know, what is going to be either beneficial or the most exciting or rewarding, you know, whatever is it that's relevant for you right now, whatever you're looking for. Okay, so let's get messages. Knight of Swords clarified by Two of Wands. Yeah, that's exactly that. That's like seeing very clearly, getting communication on what the path is, which way you're supposed to go, right? The Knight of Swords is pretty straightforward. They just go for it. No you know, beating around the bush. They say it like it is. I'm also, because there are two people in this card, and says the after tarot, I'm seeing that for some of you, one of your admirers, perhaps secret admirers for some, is going to show up and talk to you about how they see the future with you, right? And they will be pretty straightforward. They'll just get down to business. It's like, this is how I see it, or this is why I like you, or this is why I feel like this is going to work. What do you think? It's going to be as blunt as that, but all the best intentions here. See, this is a, sorry guys, this is a pretty powerful start of something new. And I'm getting actually that even if that person is not going to end up as your life partner, it's still going to be one of the important relationships that will get you on the right track with something. Or this friendship will lead to meeting other important people in your life, something like that. It's like an important part of the chain. Okay, now we have the Devil clarified by 9 of Cups. And I also got something stuck in my throat, so there may be careful with how you speak of your wants and needs, how you go about them, right? Like, this is the 9 of Cups is about a wish fulfillment, but it can also go on the negative side, or the Devil's side is like a self-indulgence. And that's partly what we see here too, right? So it's really important for you to be very honest with your wants and needs and why they are what they are. And if there is something unhealthy about it, something toxic, that's okay, we all have it. But it's really important for you to see what is guiding you towards a certain idea, or why you want to speak a certain way, right? Why you want to deliver that message, or you expect a certain behavior from someone around you, right? This is like seeing it for yourself. Why do you wish for that, right? And if it's not coming from a good place, again, remember that equinox, shadow and light, very fine line between them. If it's not coming from a good place, don't judge, don't punish, but be more of like, how can I turn this around so it becomes a loving space, so I can still achieve that level of content, of success, of happiness, of joy that I want, but my wish is actually full of that healthy energy, of that loving energy, of kindness, of compassion, rather than coming out of a negative place. A negative place could be, like, people think about the worst usually with the Devil, but it can be something like jealousy, envy, being like not feeling good enough, right? Like, this will help me prove myself, right? But why is that so important to you, right? And then if you do a few more whys, it's one of the famous methods of getting the root cause of the issue. And why that, and why is that, and why is that, and you go further and further. And if you get at the end of it, you get that, well, then I'll know that I'm just as good as the other person, or then I know that I actually deserve a promotion now, or something along those lines. And you know that that's, oof, you don't really want to be putting a lot of energy into that kind of goal, or, you know, that kind of agenda, if you wish. Okay, last but not least, Leo. Life is better together. Ah, adorable dolphins. Number 4. Seek assistance from your community. Connect with family, friends, or others who will support you. It can be as simple as making a phone call. So turn to your friends, turn to, I don't know, community can mean so different things, right? It can mean colleagues, it can mean your followers on Instagram. You know, these days we have lots of virtual communities that we are part of, but obviously, think for yourself, use your discernment of which group of people is relevant right now to ask help of, or to remind yourself that you're a valuable part of that community specifically. Messages, the Magician and 4 of Swords, sorry. Yeah, so manifest from a place of inner peace. That's what I would say. From a place of joy, from a place of calm, right? There are lots of good things that are coming your way that you can make happen for yourself if your mind, if your energy are in the right place, right? If you are rested, if you have somebody caring about you, nurturing you. It can be like a romantic partner, can be a sibling, family member, you know, a friend, but somebody who is around, who can get you back on track, or like help you calm yourself at the moment of despair I'm getting, or upset, right? But it's critical that you're manifesting when you are in a good energy, a good state of mind. And also that you're seeing the bigger picture I'm getting with this particular magician, right? Because she's kind of like locked into that head context, but there's so much more around to look at. So try to see if you can get out of your specific personal context and into a wider one. It doesn't mean that you're going to change your manifestation, like what exactly you're bringing in, but it will allow you to see why it's important for the community at the very least, right? Because that's another part of feeling like you're part of a community, right? You receive and you also give back, right? So you will see a bigger picture of how your manifestation is actually given back to the community and not just benefiting yourself personally. Okay, one more message for Leo. The Sun and the Empress. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Not to mention that the Sun is your card, and it's the happiest card in the deck. There is a little bit of an additional shade of meaning in this deck specifically, because you see that there is this bird that's kind of trying to close her eyes. But with the Empress energy underneath, there is nothing that can stop this person in shining their light, in being happy, and pursuing their dreams, right? And showering in that sunny energy, right? This is like that last bit of healing that you may need to do, just like to step over into the full of your greatness and of that joy, right? And take gender how it resonates. These are both feminine figures, and the Empress is more of a feminine energy, but the main idea is that it's somebody who is full of ideas, really creative, really talented, right? Somebody who has a lot of that potential brewing inside and is just asking to get on the outside, right? So this is a great time for being artistic, for maybe trying yourself in a new creative field that you have been shy to try before, and remembering that healing energy is more important than ever. And again, maybe that's another side of it that you can bring about for yourself and for the community, so that what you create at the end of the day can be healing for yourself and for the community. Or let me rephrase that, what you create will be healing for yourself and for the community. So it's another reason to give it a go, to try it, to see what happens. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. I'm pretty sure I've gone through all of the zodiac signs now. Thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And of course, this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, so check messages for all of your placements. I love you all.